Hey guys, Somebody's Gun here. Today we're going to be watching Bizzle, Clix, and Bugha absolutely dominate Week 1 FNCS qualifier. They won 3 out of 6 matches in the final round and basically had a chance to win every single game. So we went through, VOD reviewed them, talked about some stuff, and that's what this video is about. Hope you enjoy it, and let's get right to it. So to start with, these guys were uncontested at Sweaty Sands all 6 games. Had no one rotate into them, so I'm not going to be showing anything really before second or third zone. Most of the focus is going to be on mid to late game. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So we see these guys are down looting in Risky, but even though they don't plan to post up here, Bugha's chilling up top, making sure he's watching over his boys so nobody can just roll up to them. And they do this split. So this is something that I've noticed a lot of the better teams do, is a split between their players. Not too far, but just give yourself some more space. Don't let someone claim like another little hill. Take all this space for your team. And we can see that here. Very efficient on the mats too. Like, these guys didn't overbuild, didn't build themselves a huge base, just enough. And they get 5th or 6th zone. So this is probably why they win. And just look at their mats too. Like, all of them are 110 or more. Easy. And we know that from the Shockwave season, Bizzle's a big fan of the split layers, and likely him and Clix have talked about this, so this is their plan. They want to play a split high, especially with all these mats, which I think is a good play. When you're this good, like, you're going to be able to support one another on high ground regardless of your layering. But Clix going up top being probably one of... I don't know. It's hard to say who the best player in this trio is, but, like, him being an insanely good player and chilling up above, he's kind of like the guardian angel. And the good teams are able to identify which team is potentially going to contest them for height. So we see this is the next closest team. And then as time goes on, when you continue to focus second height, it just pushes the lobby down. So we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, really just 4, I guess we could call it 5 layers. And then as this game goes on, we'll see this get compressed into like 3 and then down into 2. Because they're just pressuring anyone that's on that layer and then forcing them down into a lower one. And then now we can see the lobby has compressed. So we had 5 layers. Now it's really 2, and then there's 1. There's this one guy here. So like everyone has been compressed into ultimate low or the level right above it. And this is why height is so important in this season, because you can force this to happen. And then when there's only, I don't know, what zone are we in? 8? Yeah, zone 8. So what did my math say? This zone's like 40 meters wide. This is just going to force players to fight one another. And they don't have a choice. There's just not enough space for 22 minus the 3 on top, so 19 players in 40 meters. And look at this. So you have to go through Clix first, then Bugha, and then Bizzle to get to Bizzle to stop this heal play. And because they're split layers, anyone that tries to make a bounce pad play like that is just going to get smacked. Like, no shot. Literally no shot there. And they're split. So they control and see both sides of this hill. Even though they're a duo, they're able to get all that information as if there were more people because of how they're splitting this hill. So they notice Jock, Acorn, Slacks go ahead and rotate. They can follow their path almost to a T. Power the sniper here. If someone's trying to pressure you with an AR, holding a sniper is going to stop them. Then they have to keep going. But it looks like... Okay, so Clix went a different way. Important, though. Important. Clix goes one way, Bugha goes another, and instead of just both trying to solo play this now, they do get back together. See, here they could have probably... You don't want to accept that you're in a desperation situation, right? But you kind of are. Except that they could heal off for so long and get themselves into the top 10 here. They don't want to accept that, though. And then it winds up paying because they try and go make a play, and then Clix has to go heal off in Storm anyway. Way to hide behind this freaking cone, too. And then he sees a full trio on this layer, so instead of going to chase them, he's like, nah, let me go find a better layer. Alright, cool. Here's a solo. Dead. Thank you, sir. Honestly, like, all of the points this game come from Clix. It's important to note that, you know, he doesn't make it this far without Bizzle, but oh my goodness. What's up, bros? Welcome, thank you. If that RPG's reloaded, like, that's game over. That's game over. He wins this. But it's not. So then he's going to die to Storm. But it's alright. Doing this split. Holding all of this space. The triple sprays be too strong. We pulled 6 zone. That is the key to victory for these fellas. Bizzle's going to take a peek at high ground because that's the play. That's how you're going to win this game, is take high ground at some point. And I think Bizzle, in my opinion, is probably the best player at identifying high ground and getting it weak or setting it up. Look at this. Bugha tarps so well too. I think that's a very underrated piece of his game. Like, the layering and the tarping for a team is so important, and to have someone like Bugha leading you, and then this allows Bizzle and his big brain to go and do other things. That's why he can go look to try and take high ground, or look to potentially go play high ground. Because he can trust that Bugha's going to give his team the best position possible as far as tarps go. Then you're chilling. And now they've seen the high ground team is dropping down and trolling. And this is free high ground. But we saw them watching height the whole time. And instead of just, like, going for it, they waited for their chance. They waited for an opportunity to go take height. Oh. And that's where you get a little greedy. Now they at least have siphon mats. And enough heals here on Bugha if they need it. So now it's time to go play heal off. And 10 seconds as zone closes. So anywhere between 5 to 10 seconds with this final zone going to close is probably where you want to go play heal off. Obviously, if you have a ton more heals, then just go for it. But you got to do the math. It's going to take a fully healthy person 10 seconds to get eliminated by Storm once the zone closes. So if you have 20 seconds worth, boom, okay, awesome. Go sit in Storm. Give yourself 20 seconds. But you got to think of it that way. And kind of assume that someone else is going to have heals too. But it's just well played. They were pretty much shambles the entire time. And we're doing it again. Once again, we're doing a split here. Bizzle in a bush. Clix holding this way. So they'll be able to see a team coming regardless of what direction they come from. And we get 5th zone as well. We're like a box away from 5th zone. Power of the grappler. And this is exactly what I mean. We just saw him try and spray out height. He's looking for snipes on height. Bizzle is one of the best players that's constantly thinking, I want high ground, and I need to do something to make sure I get high ground. And in this case, it's going to be looking at height. But now you guys can see what I talked about the first game. When height is putting pressure on people, these guys have now dropped multiple layers. They were playing much higher than this. So instead of, you can see, they were playing originally this layer. This was their original tarp. They dropped down some even more. And now height has griefed them to the point where they're going to have to go drop down on somebody else. And the only one that wins this fight is going to be high ground. And then Bugha's looking to hold a full trio by himself. My man literally posts up here so he can hold a full trio by himself. Bugha's trying to find an angle here, but the problem is they're going to have to go through basically everyone. Basically everyone is in their way. But this is just a really difficult rotate to make. I actually find a good layer though. They're not as shambles as they're playing. 66 builds. They didn't need to all in that. Builds on my guy. So 6th zone goes north. Got Acorn, Jack, and Slacks on the high ground. They're playing this split too. Nice. This is really smart. Basically, oh my goodness. So they see that high ground was split up here. And they know that he's already started to move. One, this is kind of lackadaisical by Acorn. His job is to watch the back. When you're on the back of the tarp, your job is to watch the back. But either way, oh, bro. And you can't take that 3v1 or 3v2. You just watched your teammate get knocked. You know who that is. It's Bizzle, Bugha, and Clix. And you're like, I'm not doing that. You guys take height. All right, it's yours. But that's what I mean by taking height in creative ways and like looking for height. That's different than we've seen them take height thus far. Sneak on the backside. And then now we watch them hold it. Let's see. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. Let's watch by the end of the zone how quickly they close. How quickly this turns into less than 5 layers. I guess it pulls back, so it's not going to get as compacted as quickly. Like, these guys have already won the tournament. They have nothing. Nothing they need to do at this point. They're just chilling. It's actually turned into more layers because it went down in elevation. And now this is a good zone for them. When it's pulling over open space, this is a really good zone for high ground. Especially with what this trio wants to do. And now we have 1, 2, 3 trios on ulti low, 1 right above them. So we're still on 5 layers. But much more compacted. And just so many mats. If no one contests high ground and you're walking into endgame with about 100 mats on every person, good luck. Like, there's literally nothing you could do. You have to hope someone contests them, but these guys don't really give you an option. They play so much higher. And they also play multiple layers. And they're only able to do that because of how many materials they have. If they don't have a ton of mats, you can't play multiple layers because it costs you. You have to play cheap. But going into the end game with as many materials as they have, easy. And now you just look to claim space, have people walk into it. Bizzle does that really well, especially with the Dragon's Breath. It's going to force people to start catching fire as well. Yeah, they own the entirety of zone. And these guys are just trying to make it out. Nada. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Bugha has, what is that, 44 times 4, 16, plus another 8. So he has 22 seconds in zone, plus another 9. So he can out-heal anyone. And we see about the same time, like 6-7 seconds before this zone fully closes, he gets out. And that's a GG's.